Lee Vasad from Ancient Gamers here with a quick tutorial on how to use the Atavism Toolbox to set up a series of equipment displays. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our modular presets that we're going to work with, or our prefabs that we're going to work with. In this case, we're going to use the Polygon military and the modular presets because they're already set up. We're going to drag this into, let's go ahead and lock that so that we're working with it. We're going to drag this into our folders to process. So this is the prefab variant generation system. And we're going to find a folder to save the prefabs and the variants. So in this case, we've already created it here in the Atavism Toolbox, resources, prefabs, and variants. If you want to clean up anything in the name, go ahead and add it here. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click build variants. And within a few seconds, depending on how many you have selected, we should have a series of prefabs and variants that are inside of the folder that we created earlier. And here are all our variants and all of our prefabs. That has the variant that we created just a second ago in there. Next step is to go ahead and click the equipment display generator. And we're going to go ahead and create a new folder within our resource. We'll just call it weapons. We're going to drag this into our folder to save to. And we're going to drag this prefab folder that we had worked with earlier to the folders to process. And these are all going to be attached weapons, objects, and they're going to be in the main hand. I think we added some stuff in here. Let's make sure we don't have any fences in our main hands. And then we're going to click do the button thingy. And then we'll wait a few seconds. And once it's done, we should have a folder that is underneath there with the objects that were created. So if we open this, we should see that as an equipment display with all the appropriate, that is equipment display. And we can see it as a main hand rest item with the model and its attached object. So at this point, we can go back to the toolbox. So once we're back here, we can pull in our resources folder here. And the folders to process. Make sure to lock this. And click load the files and process the files. This is what we'll see is what that you have 14 equipment displays, 14 not in the database. And then we're going to go ahead, and this is saying this equipment display missing is just saying that these don't exist in that folder structure and it won't do anything. So then you can just click process missing database items and then click on Atavism editor and then go to items, and then you'll go to the very last items that you just added. In this case, we know the items all start with the name SM. So there they are. And they're all added in. So this is where this is really powerful. So if you pre-set up your information for this as you go through the process and set up all of your names to be the proper names, like this is a heavy weapon, heavy rifle, swords, whatever the case may be, if you name this properly, it will actually name it as that name is located here and imported into there. So make sure you set up your names properly before you do it, and then you should be all set. And then you've got your items very quickly into the database, and you can do this per pack, per folder, however you want to set it up, individual folders, and or you can do the entire 6,000 structure if you like. And if you wanted, you could pull in all of the stuff into the resources, into here, and the folder to process, and then click load and process the files, and it will take a little while. But if you have all of the Cincy stuff installed, it will show you that you have about 6,000 items. Oh, oh, there's 1,000 items in that folder structure, and there's 1,026 not in the database. And so this is everything that is listed actually. So if I click this, it would import everything into the database and have them all set up again. They would all be set up as associated here. If you're curious on how to set up this or how it works with the database and how it configures everything, it looks at the folder structure and it sees anything that is in here. Like it says the word rifle or SMG or sniper, and it has that functionality. And if you're curious on how it actually works, then what it does is it goes through the process and it looks at this and it says if it contains this backpack, headgear, helmet, glasses, shoulders, thigh items, wrist guards, backpacks, and this is within the build objects within the editor script and the build objects function, then it will assign all of these values, item types, armor, hands, and cloth. If we go up to the top of this, you can see that these are all defined. These are the default atavism things. So if you have set up your own new processes or slots or types of armors or items, then this is where you would come and add in those functionalities. And then you'd go back down to that. And it goes through the process. And if it detects all of this, it will eventually come down to the process and build your event and then load it in, inject it into the database. And it utilizes the same standard methods that Atavism does, that we're not actually messing with the database, we're injecting an actual Atavism item. So you can make any changes that you want into this prior to it going in. So this is where you would make those changes on within this. And here's the little structure right here. And you can see that it's all of the values that are associated within the Atavism basic system. So that's how you would edit the system to manage anything that you've added. And that's about it. So until next time, happy coding. Thanks for watching.